Acknowledge, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in exactly 10 months to the day, in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that he helped build. Now, sure, you might have seen all these who's who of WWE ex-legends and rock stars, but he was one of the first to have been here before all of that. We're going to talk about what's on his mind, and especially in the wrestling world, UK and elsewhere. We'll talk about Romania. We'll talk about who else he's met recently. We'll also talk about your comments. We'll also talk about Men's Mental Health Month, which just surpassed us here. It just took place in November. We talked a lot about that on Sportswire Radio. A lot of wrestlers say a few different things, and this man was a focal point. We referenced him, and obviously he took the time to recognize that. And this man, as I said then, and I'll say now, and I'll say forever, to quote WWE, then, now, and forever, he was a role model and an inspiration when he made that decision over a year and a half ago to step away from that ring and focus on his own mental health. We'll talk about that. We'll most certainly talk about maybe somebody else inching ever so closely to returning to Sportswire Radio, who always has something to say. First name James, and you'll probably hear the last name in a little while, because he and we have been trying to get our schedules synced up, but I think next week is going to finally be that moment. Plus, we have a couple of surprises to give to our tribal cheese. But before we do that, I know it has been 10 months to the day since this man has been here. And I must give him that introduction that he most certainly deserves on a platform that he helped build. But we don't quite have as many followers as him. I'm going to still give him that introduction. I'm going to hopefully get his TikTok right. I will put that up on the screen, and who knows whatever else. But it is now time to start this show off here in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with that, wait for it. Further ado here on the Sports Report. Number one. Sports show. A man that is one of the all-time OGs in Sportswire Radio history. A man that is one of the greatest draws in independent wrestling history, not just in the UK, but abroad. A man that has become a TikTok influencer, YouTube star, Instagram favorite. Acknowledge, because his name is simply but the the tribal cheese. Acknowledge, because it ain't easy being cheesy, my friend. How are we doing? And welcome home.
They need to edit, don't they? It ain't easy being cheesy. I can't believe it's been like 10 months, and that intro is getting better and better every time. Some serious practice there.
I get here almost every day. Now, I will tell you before we talk, because there's a lot to talk about here. I didn't do it with Raven, because Raven, when he came on, he had technical difficulties. And
I don't think he would have liked it.
He would not have liked it. Now, I had on Mark Farner of Grand Funk Railroad, who was in his glory. Speaking of people from your side of the pond, I had Phil Lewis of the band LA Guns, who didn't seem like he liked it very much, but it depends. Rhino wanted to run through a wall from it, and I had Gary Wolf, Pitbull, Gary Wolf, he did like it. So, it's a mixed bag. I mean, it's a mixed bag, but I'm glad you
You're
like it.
making moves, aren't you? You're making moves. You're here, there, and everywhere.
I know. I had Lorraine Lewis, who a lot of people would love to look at. She's probably been like one of my bigger fans. I could probably get her phone number at this point, but we're not going to go there. But so it's a mixed bag. Some rock stars like it, and others, like Raven, was, it was just he didn't really seem to care for it. It was basically done. I was doing. You'll laugh. I'll tell an inside story for people here in the chat. I was getting ready to do a voiceover audition, and I was hoping to get this job, and all of a sudden I see a text on my phone, you want to talk to Raven? And I'm like, yeah, all right, forget that audition. And it would give me 20 minutes, and he gave me 20 minutes, and it was what it was. But it's great to see you. It has been so long. Where does the time fly?
Hey, don't I look healthier? I look healthier.
It's funny. I had you on here the first time over 2.5 years, almost 3 years ago now. I actually thinking, I don't know how this is possible. You look younger now than from the first time I had you on. Seriously.
I do. I'm like Benjamin Button. It just keeps going on.
You seriously, you seem to be that way. But yeah, how you been, first of all? It's been a minute.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I've not got anything negative to say for the past year or so, which is really good considering where I was like a year and a half ago. It's all been positive vibe, and it's just been riding up all the time.
Well, I got to ask you, first of all, how was Romania?
Fuck it. Do you want the truth? I don't really want to insult anybody, but did you see any of the blogs?
No.
Oh, well, it's very run down. It's very run down. That's what it is. It's very run down, and it needs a lot of love. And by a lot of love, I mean multi-billions.
Okay. All right. Well, you did see Hans Zimmer at least. I have that.
Oh, God, inspirational.
That was great.
That was a high from a low. Yeah, that was really good. Visual spectacle. Blast out all the hits. He's done so many movies, you forget that he didn't even play like your Crimson Tides, your Cool Runnings, all that. But man, amazing, really amazing.
Speaking of movies, and you kind of influenced me without even knowing it, I really wanted to see The Running Man, and you said it was terrible.
Terrible. It's not, yeah, there's no stalkers and that. Yeah. What do you want to watch? You're just like, it's.
I kind of wanted to see it because the first one, you think about Arnold Schwarzenegger and what an iconic movie, and I was really actually looking forward to it. I haven't been to a movie in a minute, and I really wanted to see it, but you said you walked out and it was terrible.
Yeah. I'm a realist when it comes to the cinema, so I've just went to watch Nuremberg, and I survived through it, and I think I've made them a few ticket sales because people like, man, if cheesy can sit for a film, it must be worth watching. I watched Predator Badlands. It was all right. But
I'm not as excited about that. I know some people were like, you got to see it. But I was more wanting to see The Running Man. Predator Badlands, I just don't think I would have want to sit through.
Don't let my review put you off. I've seen some people say it's good, but then people are like the odd people and my friends that I don't really get along with. So
well, you and I were on the same wavelength about Oppenheimer. It just dragged, and you and I usually movie wise we're generally on the same wavelength. So if you think it wasn't good, I could see it. I got the AMC pass. Maybe I'll see it, Friday or Saturday, but. I was when I saw you.
I wouldn't rush to see it. I just want Rush to see it. You want the Stalkers. You want like the game show vibe. You just watch the original. It flows. That one doesn't flow.
Yeah, the original was just. That was the whole point. It was iconic, and I was really looking forward to it. Then you said
so many mistakes, but it's a classic.
Yeah, well, that's an 80s thing. So, all right, I got that out of the way. We're going to put your links up here. I'm going to give you a couple things. So,
okay.
I guess there's a lot I could say, and I've only got so much time. So, I'm going to start off here for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you most certainly helped build, Sportzwire Radio. How do you feel about today's wrestling, and especially maybe in the UK and elsewhere? What is your thoughts? You've kind of teased it here, or I announced you a few different times. I guess that's what some people want to hear, and I got to ask.
Do you want my opinion on WWE, or do you want my opinion on UK wrestling in general?
All right, I'll start for you at WWE. I know I got wrestlers here in the chat. Some are going to pop in. I don't have
WWE. I think since the Royal Rumble, since Jey Uso won it. It's been terrible. I don't
I haven't
tune.
watched. I got to be honest. I just haven't watched. I mean, I know what's
I
going on.
don't tune in. If someone says it's good, usually they plug the best clips on YouTube. You watch it and you're like, eh, that's what it is.
My thing is, I have so many underground, backyard, and independent wrestlers on. I feel like I want to be so in tune to that. And I have so many people I root for. Whereas WWE, you know, I don't know. It's not touching me. You know, it's not. I know Cena's got his final match next weekend, but
bothered. I mean, the milking that to death.
Well, I mean, what else they got left? I mean, this, they talk about the storylines, they talk about, everything, and it's kind of how I feel about wrestling, UK and WWE wrestling. I kind of
that's the thing. So I think, like, you remember UK done a massive influx, and they got WWE, NXT UK, and you got Pete Dunne, and it was all coming through, and everybody was raving. That's not there anymore. It's just not there. It's not happening. It's because, as I've always said to you, it's been the same old shit constantly.
It's the same matches. I hate to say it that way. I know we said this last 10 months ago. But
that's just stating facts.
I follow RPD. He made the PWI 500. He was 493, I think. I mean, he wants to come back. There's certain people I'm following, but like you said, it's just, to me, I mean, CCW I'm certainly following. Obviously, I'm going to say that James Barris is on his way back to Sportswire. I gotta talk about the last CCW show
we've
of the year.
The Love 8 with Barris, though, haven't we? We've got the Love 8. What a mastermind. But, I'd love to whoop his ass, and that will happen one day.
I mean, you did make a return briefly in CCW. I think since we last spoke, you were the 24/7 champion there for a minute.
I did. You know what? So I done the comeback for him, and I was like getting in good shape, and stupidly I got the most stupid injury I've ever had in my life. The most stupid injury. I was like squatting, doing like legs for days, like hundreds and hundreds of reps. I was like, I'll sit in my car. My mate Carlos was like, "Do you want to stretch?" And I went, "Nah, I'm done. I'm done." and I sat there in my car, and I was on the phone for about half an hour, and it cramped, and I stood up, and I pulled my nervous system. It was so funny now looking at it, but that stopped that halted that comeback. But I've been fine for like 2 months or something now.
All right. I mean, listen, I can't quite compete with injuries, but I mean, I do. I should point out that I did have dental surgery this summer, which I really dreaded. I had a root canal.
Really? What did you do then?
I had my root canal fixed on my right side here, and on my left side, I had to have a tooth extraction. It was like it was like terrible. I mean, it was like, I still am not. I mean, I'm back to normal, but like my left side of my mouth is like, the upper corner of it, I had a tooth extraction. It was like,
I still have problems on that DDT still.
I remember. That's why I brought it up. I was like, okay, well, maybe somebody will understand. It was funny when I went to get the surgery. I went to a place I'd never been before, and it was like I felt like I was going to the light. It was like I was by myself. It was really, people told me, "Don't go there, don't do it," but I'm like, I literally can't like click on my left side of my mouth, and I got the thing, and then stupidly the dentist didn't tell me to take the mouth cloth out of my left side. I was all bloody, and I'm like dizzy, and like like for 4 days it was like, but I eventually got over it, and and I did a show the next day, and by the time like 4 days later, it was like, all right, but it took me like a couple weeks to eat. Then I had my right side done. I had that done. I had my root canal redone, which was not as bad because at least it was. I know what to expect, but I can compete with surgeries a little bit. But yeah, I'm with you. Listen, WWE, I'm just not. I'm not watching it much.
Yeah. I think that's with a lot of my friends as well. They're just not watching it. They're just meh.
Well, Raven was here, by the way, and he said he don't watch wrestling altogether. I mean, he was like, listen, I haven't watched wrestling since the Alliance. I mean, which was his storyline.
Wow, that is long. What's that, 25 years ago or something?
Yes, and he, obviously his documentary I got a chance to watch. We've been plugging it all throughout the week, and he says that. I mean, he had a run in Major League Wrestling not too long ago. He had a run and he came back in TNA a few years ago, but he doesn't watch it. He doesn't even want to talk about it. He has a podcast in his own right. I was listening to it, and there's no wrestling references. He doesn't want to talk nothing about wrestling. Nothing. There's just don't even mention it. And even in the documentary, which is Nevermore the Raven Effect, and he's talking about wrestling as almost like just as a past tense. He just doesn't, want to Want to be in.
Just on a quick change here, someone just popped up and said they're having trouble talking on the chat.
Oh, well, I don't see that here. I mean, I see everybody here in the chat. I don't know
On
who.
YouTube, they said they're struggling to type. It just
Oh,
popped up twice.
well, if you're struggling to type, I mean, I see everybody here in the chat, so we're gonna get to you. There's a lot of people who want to say hello to you, but yeah, I mean, look, it's. I don't know. I mean, Cena. So, what do you think then about Cena's last match? I'll ask you about it. You've met the man. You know him. What do you?
Yeah, I do you know what with wrestlers? Is it the last match? I mean, how many times did Ric Flair come back? Hulk Hogan? They always come back. They're always itching out there. Shawn Michaels.
I have a guy coming on this week, which you'll probably remember. I'm not sure. So many people in the chat remember. I have Jumpin' Jim Brunsnell coming on.
I do remember him. Yeah, from the Young Stallions.
He's coming on here, and he talks about Ric Flair, and he said, Flair is one of these guys. Unfortunately, he earned $15 million and spent $25 million, so it's kind of why he's going and still out there in the ring. Yeah, guys, you say they're retired, and they just can't
hang them up. They just can't hang them up. Yeah,
but I think Cena might be done because what does he have to prove? He's a movie star. He's making millions. I mean, Flair and Hogan, we know financially had a lot of problems. They had a lot of struggles. I mean,
I know, but money talks, don't it? A few years down the line, they're like, oh, go on then. Like a boxer, they never really retire, then they come back. And like Evander Holyfield come back and fought Vita Belfort.
Oh, Evander Holyfield, and I know you posted a Roberto Duran thing earlier this year. Evander Holyfield is the poster child of guys that, didn't know when it was. I think he's famously the boxer that they actually said, don't come back. No, seriously, don't come back. You fought too much. You have too many potential injuries and don't come back.
Yeah, no, Jordan, and then you've got George Foreman that came back and won the bloody heavyweight title.
Well, George Foreman's one that I think at least though he got it right. He had the 10-year layoff. He came back and did it the right way, and he won the heavyweight title over Michael Moore, lost it in kind of controversial fashion right afterwards. So he, at least I think he got it. But some of these guys, listen, even Tyson had that fight with what's his face, Jake Paul.
This is what it's coming to. I don't think it will be his last thing. You may think it is. I don't think, just because wrestlers always come back. Just I don't know many.
Listen, I have Johnny Velocity here in the chat. He announced on Friday's show that he's done in July, and there was one wrestler, James Taylor, a man like you, a TikTok and YouTube influencer, who was trying to tell him like almost as if he wasn't buying it. He said, "Yeah, we'll figure it out," but. I mean, it does come a time. I mean, listen, in this sport, it. You obviously, I've covered your career. I mean, everybody.
I've not fully retired, and I'll never say I've retired because I'd hate to be the person that.
And Barris will be very upset. He would be very upset if you did fully announce your retirement because he would love to see you back.
Well. If I was to retire, that match would have to happen. Me and Barris would have to happen. It has to happen.
Absolutely.
It's got too much of a history. That could be the defining moment match. That me and Top Tiers Barris. It has to be.
And Barris will, I'm sure he will certainly bring that up when he's back on here next week. There's certainly, without a shadow of a doubt that he will. But I mean, one of the things I want to bring up with you, which we were really referencing you throughout the last couple of weeks, and there was one wrestler last Monday who had on here, which was Comatose, and he's kind of taken a step back here for a little while because of mental health. And it was Men's Mental Health Month that took place in November. We had Jason Storm that was on here Saturday, and he was basically open and upfront about his situation in the past, about mental health and things that had went on in his life. And I didn't even know. I mean, I didn't even ask him. He just kind of, had talked about it and just was very upfront. And I mean, you on this platform, to me, I think have kind of been an inspiration in some sense, because a lot of guys, to me, I've noticed have come very forward and have been vocal about their struggles in mental health. And Men's Mental Health Month just took place here in November. And I mean, how are you feeling right now?
Absolutely fantastic, honestly. It sounds cliche to say fantastic, but I fully pressed the reset button on the Super Nintendo and I started again. Like, it was the get rid of the wrestling, change things. I'd done a full reset of everything. And it was stages to the point of like being a proper recluse. My friends will tell you I wasn't going out. I was not being seen around my friends. Like, I would go to a different gym out of the way. I'd train at different hours so no one would see me. And then piece by piece, everything started coming together. And I was like, oh, actually, I'm all right. I can see my friend. I can do that. But yeah, I felt like I was shut in a black hole and I legit couldn't get out. But yeah, the light at the end of the tunnel was worth it. It was worth the fight. But I dealt in it my way. That's how I felt. I shut everybody down and then I came out. That's what it was for me.
Yeah, I mean, and I think in a lot of ways you were, and I say it again, an inspiration and a role model because again, you were in a prime spot in CCW at the time.
Yeah,
You
if
were
I
one.
watch that video back, I mean, it's an emotional video to watch back. I mean, and it shows it how much of a bad place I was in. Like sometimes I watch it and think, oh, he's done well there to get to that point where you are now. Yeah, it's literally chalk and cheese, and now you've got the cheese back.
But no, but I think it's important what you did at the moment, even without knowing, because the magnitude of it, at least here on Sportswire, yeah, it was a match, but really what you did and how you responded to that afterwards, I think means more than whatever you would have done, let's say, if you didn't say anything. Because again, I had Jason Storm on here Saturday, and he talked about he wanted to kill himself at one point. I mean, we had Comatose on here last Monday who basically is stepping aside because of certain things and how he's feeling in his life. I've had wrestlers one by one, I feel like since that moment where you stepped away, have been upfront about their struggles. And I say it all the time, when I was growing up, I mean, mental health, people would have laughed at you. They would have said, oh, you feel bad today? You want to cry? They would have looked at you. When I was growing up in Brooklyn, it was just like nobody would have been laughed at. Now, I think at least what a good thing has come from society these days in evolution is that people do take mental health very seriously, because I've seen a lot of different wrestlers come on here and been very upfront and honest about their struggles. And I think you were kind of one of the guys here on this platform over 19 months ago, going on 20 months now, that was the first one to be really vocal and upfront about what you were going through.
Yeah, I would agree what you're saying about this, James kid. I would say just take a step away and just do a full reset, because wrestling can be poisonous and you're getting backstabbed everywhere. And when you're going through a mental struggle, you don't need that. You need to be as far away from that as possible. That's why I would say if you're going through a mental struggle, do not chase wrestling. Just take that step back, reset, and go for it. But yeah, these. I don't know if anybody's struggling for help. They can always inbox me. I mean, I'll help them to the best of my
ability. There's some people here that have some comments, and I'm going to give them the opportunity. I usually go one by one, but I'm going to go for special ones here first. And also, I'm going to Johnny Velocity, because Johnny always talks about you all the time. And he wanted to say, have you ever met Tom Aspinall?
Yes, he only lives down the road. Yeah, he lives literally.
All right, so what was he like?
Nice. I'll send you the video to forward to him. He's really nice.
Okay.
He's really nice.
Sure.
He goes to Manchester City quite regularly, which is 5-10 minutes up the road. Yeah, I actually haven't seen him since his eye poke. Actually, I haven't seen him. No one's seen him. He used to see him very frequently.
Speaking of you, one of my friends, Steven Saperstein, who I know is not watching this, so I could mention him. He actually was not too far from you. About, I want to say, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. He went, because he's a big Tottenham fan. He's a big Hotspurs fan. He wound up going to the game, and he took his daughter with him, and he was over there. And it was, I was almost thinking, am I going to have Steve run into you? But he didn't really message me while he was there. But I mean,
we still a bit far where Tottenham is. Like, it's still pretty far. That it's a good.
Yeah, I figured that. I figured I was just like, it's not going to work out. But he went down there, and I thought about you. And speaking of people,
I got noticed in Romania. That's quite a weird one. He's like
Romania. That wasn't on my bingo card. You in Romania. I mean, I know you've traveled a lot of places. You've been on the mountains. I mean, you meet everybody else, but that wasn't on my bingo card there. But I'm going to have people definitely on my bingo card here first of all. And Daniel Tafua, who's back here on December 15th and wanted to say basically he wants you in the ring because he's the tribal king. You're the tribal chief.
Oh, okay.
You always get that. You do realize you always get that when you're here. That there's always.
If I come to the States, I'm sure there'd be bookings and everybody just wanting that match against me. There's so many of that on the stateside that want that match with me. So many.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there. Omen Black is
I'm
one of his
not
matches.
retired, so I'm open to it. I'm not retired. It could happen.
I know you didn't say it, and I told you that Mr. Barris would be here. I told you because we're going to see him here next week. He's going to be here next week. He said, "See, you're wanted everywhere. You're wanted everywhere." And I got to say hello to my friend Dominic, the YBW champion, and also fellow Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer. And he wanted to say hello to you. So people are popping in because you come on. They want to tune in. Yesterday, you'll laugh. I had on the guy that did the documentary for Ravens film, Jordy Day. Nice guy, but nobody was tuning into that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, it was one of those. It was like they weren't tuning in. But the one I had before, the day before, was actually a guy who does press for Cleopatra Records, and he actually got a lot of views. It was a guy.
Really?
He's the. You ever heard of the singer Melanie? She had one song, Brand New Day, back in the 70s. She was in Woodstock, and he actually got a lot of views. I gotta say, it was unexpectedly. He got a lot of views, and then
probably know if it played, like the name rings a bell. But Melanie,
Melanie, she had a couple of hits. I mean, if you're a real music savant, you would have knew her. But he is her manager, and he works for the record label, which has been giving me some support. So it was fun. And also, Mr. Barris did want to say that he will retire you on one day. He will retire you.
I mean, is he not calling me out for Miners Mania 5? Is he not? I think he wants to smoke.
Well, because we have another show coming up on December 20th, and I expect to have some coverage. I'm going to be here between now and the next.
Hey, Barris has got in some good shape, though, hasn't he? He's got in some good shape.
Yes. No, you know what? Well, he's got the ring now. I mean, they're doing it now every Sunday. Let's give CCW a plug. I mean, they're out there every afternoon. So at this point.
Of course, I mean the young talent that's coming through.
CCW, I gotta say this: CCW, from my vantage point, has to be one of the only companies in the UK that actually has that ring and gives people an opportunity to train. By the way, everybody's this and that, but I see every weekend. I see the locker room there and training.
Yeah, well, that's one of the only places where you've got a great mind like Barris, that if you go down there, if there's anybody that's looking to train, if you get down there, he will figure out a way for you as much as he'll figure out a way or get you somewhere. I'd love to get that egg and just slap it on his head right now. Elite team, sucker.
He may disagree with that. And Mr. Tafu said it would be the best match ever because it's tribal versus tribal. That's why he wanted to point out tribal versus tribal. And and you see you put your own words in your own mouth. Miners Mania 5, you say, see what I mean? We'll get to the chat one by one. They want to talk to you. Now I'm just gonna forget about my own questions for a little bit.
Okay.
Zilla's here first. Thank you, Zilla. Zilla wanted to say hello. I want to say hello to one of my favorites, a guy who can talk about as good as you. That is the former TPW champion, the lover boy, Dario Divine, who just lost his championship yesterday at Thanksgiving Throwdown. Did want to say hello to you because you were in his segment. He wanted to say hello to you. And speaking of people that do love you, and that is the resident rock star, Sean Jovi, said he loves me some tribal cheese. And you know why? I'm going to tell you why that this is actually a poetic comment, because he's actually from, even though he may not want to admit this, he's from here in America, the cheese state, Wisconsin. So he loves some tribal cheese.
Is that the Cheeseheads team?
Yes, that's the Cheeseheads thing. Yes, that's where he's from. And he's had it once, not recently, because right now he's not so happy at certain things. But he is nevertheless one half of the IMF Tag Team Champions. And I'm going to do him a solid because he's at 899 subscribers today. And somebody would want to give him a sub. He needs one more sub to 900, which means he's 100 away from monetization. So if you're out there, do me a favor. Another guy like you, been here for a very long time. He's been here 3.5 years, and he comes on, and I still have to say I'm indebted to him forever. So if you can, do me a favor. He needs one more subscriber to 900.
Come on, give him a sub. There's got to be someone here that'll give him a sub.
We got plenty of people here. They'll give him a sub. He needs 900. The poor guy's been waiting on it. Give it to him and support those who support.
Speaking of subs, how hard is it to get subs on YouTube? I mean, that breaking that 5,000, that was a slog.
Dude, I'm right now. I'm trying to get to 2,000. I'm a little behind you. I'm at 16. I mean, I have a lot. I can't. Our numbers, we can't complain. The IMF just hit 4,000 subs. I feel like from the time I went to 1,500 to I'm at 16, whatever. Now it's like 7 months to get 160 subs. It's weird. But from 1,000 to 1,500 took me like 5 months. It's just weird. That's how it goes. It ebbs and flows. But
Yeah.
let's get to some more comments. Zilla wanted to say hello to Sean Jovi. Speaking of people that will want to say hello to, the enforcer of Sportswire Radio, Mr. Ox McCoy. Ox is one of our favorites. He does a great job.
Yeah.
There's Mr. Tafua. And also, Mr. Tafua wanted to say you've got the Benjamin Button effect, which you just mentioned.
We said this. We said that.
I do think, no, seriously, when you came on here, the first time you came on, I think was either late February or early March of 23, to where we are today. You actually look younger. And you actually legit.
I told you, for mid-40s, I'm doing all right.
You look good. You look good. I mean, you look, really good. And yes, and Zilla loves your accent. Thank you, Zilla. And also,
Zilla.
how have you been? Well, you've been answering that. And Daniel Tafua will be great for WWE. Well, you might be. We'll talk about that. Also, my good friend who used to be Michael Blackheart, but he's now a running rebel, wanted to say hello to you. He hasn't been here in a minute, so I want to say thank you. And I love Johnny, but we're on afternoon time, but it feels like a morning show for Sportswire. I get the reference. Thank you, Johnny.
What time is it over your end?
It's 3:35 my time, but this actually worked out perfect.
Okay.
It worked out perfectly because what I do is, because my schedule's all over the place, I go to sleep in the morning. I go to sleep in the morning and then wake up like 12:30, 1 o'clock my time. So this was perfect for me. When I recorded the interview yesterday with the director of the Raven Effect, it was like I had to get up, wet my hair, turn all my lights on, and then it was like, okay, 1 o'clock. And he was like, 1 o'clock proper. It was like really proper. Sometimes it works out that way. Tomorrow, when I have Jumpin' Jim Brunzell, I've got to make sure I'm on morning time. Let's see if he shows up. We'll have to see. But I think he will, because I spoke to him a bunch of times, and he's got a book and a documentary to plug. Yes, hello to Quick Strike Johnny Velocity, the double champion. He's the prestige champion at ROW. Speaking of that, CJ Black is here tomorrow night. He'll be here.
CJ Black. Wow, long time.
Good man. Yes, 7-star superstar. He's back. We got that. Also, do me a favor. Hit the sub button for the Tribal Cheese. He got a lot of content. There's been a lot of people out there. He's got a lot of stuff out there. Just go give him a sub. He's closing in on 5,050 subs. And James Barris. Man, by the way, over 4 years I've known James Barris, by the way. Yeah, I've known him for over 4 years. What a small world. And James, actually, I got to say this. James Barris, now it's funny, I had on the football coach for you guys in your side of the world, Jason Facina, who I've known. I don't know why he still comes on. He's been coming on my platform for almost 6 years. And James Barris, I've known for over 4 years. So there you go. Yeah. The OGs of sports.
I want to know from Barris, what does the future of CCW hold? Because they're in like a proper Monday Night Wars at the moment.
Well, I know. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about that. Well, I have Rico Justice who wants to come back on as well. Rico, A-Dog, always make sure to message me on Facebook. And
Man can speak.
I know, A-Dog, and he can definitely cut some voiceover work. Crime Stoppers in Romania. No comment. Moving on.
Did you actually see the alcove that I found, though? I nearly went into it. I actually went and I thought, I think there's a body in there. I couldn't do it. I don't mean I'm brave, but I couldn't do it.
It makes me feel better. Every time I'm in Manhattan here in New York City, I always look past the body, and it's usually a homeless person just lying down. They're not dead.
Like Skid Row. That's how Romania was like Skid Row. But that's how.
Yeah, let's not go there, because somebody will certainly yank us off the air. And there you go. See, another person wants to be out there in the ring with you, Mr. Ox McCoy himself. He wants to be out there. Listen, 2 veterans.
There's so many people that want that match. I mean, call for it.
Well, because you are one of the most well-known people that comes on here, so naturally, why not shoot your shot? I mean, a man like yourself with your stature, your following, your TikTok influences, your YouTube star power, your Instagram favorability. I mean, why not just give it a shot? And
let's go. Throw me a challenge. You never know.
Listen, you know what? They would say, what would Regis used to say? Throw me a lifeline on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And hello to Dominic. Hit the sub button for Sean Jovi. And thanks for the kind words. Also, hello to Mr. Barris. And I'm glad Johnny and I are on the same schedule, because he just woke up because he gets off work at 6. And I deliver newspapers, and I'm usually done by about 6:37. Then I go back to sleep, and then I wake up, and then I'm here and doing this again. And Mr. Barris wants to point out that he will look better once I retire him.
Would he retire me? Would your money be on?
Well, my money would be it's a great question. I'm saying,
Yeah, I mean, if there was like a stipulation rules match with Barris, you'd have to have the elite tier banned from ringside because there's bloody loads of them. They're like the NWO in '98.
I'll tell you what. This is how I'm gonna get out of this question, and I'm gonna say, let's see the match happen first.
Yeah, that's it. It needs to be announced first. I mean, the guy can't even cut a promo on me, you know.
Well, let's see the match. Let's see the match happen first. And by the way, I have to give somebody a shout out because they're not here in the chat, but they did want to give you a shout out. That is Necro Daddy, Mr. Chris Levitt did want to give you a big shout out. Necro Daddy.
He was so excited to see this. So, you know, I miss him.
Well, Necro Daddy has a reason why he can't tune in because he's on daddy duty right now. But he did want to give his regards, and
okay.
so I'm giving him that pass because Necro Daddy, like you, is definitely somebody I don't want to be on their wrong side. So shout out to Necro Daddy. I've had him on a few times, and I also wanted to make it up to Mr. Necro Daddy that I would, always welcome him back on Sportswire. And he said, "Thank you."
With all that commotion around that time, what's happened? Has that all died out? Has it gone?
Well, I think what happened was, listen, this is what happens in wrestling. It's almost, I was talking to a wrestler here stateside that's a pro wrestler, and he made a good point to me, was that it's almost like wrestling goes in cycles. And when Necro Daddy said what he said on here, if you think about it, that cycle of wrestlers who he was mentioning, a lot of them kind of sputtered out. I mean, a few of them definitely, went out and did some good things. But if you think about it, they're wrestling from the people that were coming on when you were coming on in that period from 21, 22, 23, a lot of them kind of sputtered out. There was, if you think about it,
from the modern day mafia, I never heard Kingdom Wrestling.
Nothing.
Sluggers, I don't know where they all are. I don't know where they've gone.
Well, I know Brad Coleman has done. He was here last year, right before you came on. I know he's training. I know he's sort of doing some things here in the ring. Some of them, Supersonic Sammy Blue has had some success. I mean, some of them have gone on, but then a lot of them,
fizzled out.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes in wrestling altogether. I mean, I've had on, listen, people don't realize this. I know a lot of the backyard guys, maybe don't know this. I had on indie wrestlers from years ago. We're talking like even before I did UK wrestling, and now you couldn't find them on a milk carton. You couldn't find them if their mugshot was in front of you. It just, wrestling, unfortunately, sometimes in the indie scene, you're doing it for a while. You know this. You had a lot of success. For every RPD, for every Osprey, for every Anthony Ogogo, most people, I mean, that's kind of how it goes. I mean, there's certain other guys that, I see, Bentley's continuing. I see Bentley out there. He's, in his own fed now. Then I see guys like Sheriff Steele who've lost he lost like a ton. He literally, to take your terms, lost a ton. He keeps in touch with me. So, from that era, from the people that were coming on, I think what Necro Daddy was saying, and not to go back, in a way, he was kind of a visionary because a lot of them, they're not even here. I couldn't tell you what they're up to, and I'm following. I still follow. So,
right, okay,
kind of the time. But I got to give you a couple things first before we come back into something. I want to give you a few things, and I know this will certainly fire up Mr. Barris, especially. But first of all, we want to put you in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame once again. But this time, this is where I think it's really interesting because this is the first person to have gotten this for lifetime achievement. This is lifetime achievement for your wrestling career. This is for your TikTok because I got the wrong TikTok handle down.
You did. Yeah, and I mean, you would have got 17,000 plugs. Instead, you had my backup profile.
I know. And thank you for letting me know. And then your YouTube following, 5,000 subs, your Instagram. So, I mean, I wanted to make sure you were the first to get a lifetime achievement into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. So it means you're in the Hall of Fame a third time, CCW, and obviously previously, and now your third time's a charm. But I'm not done. I got something else for you, which I think to me, and I think I might have said this in a previous episode, but you're now getting this for reaching 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. So
Oh, thank you,
have,
thank you. I
yep.
need them to display them here, so you need to email me them. I'll get them here.
I always listen. I always do. I think Dominic, who's in the chat, has displayed them. Johnny Velocity's displayed them.
Yeah.
Sean Jovi's displayed them. I have my Hall of Fame monitor, Justin Parsley, out there. He's displayed them, and so yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we'll give you the physical copies when we're off the air. And my friend Eddie Pizzo from Dooley wanted to say awesome. He's been here before. Eddie's working on this whole grand plan to basically have people vote on people that come on Sportswire, and I really hope it works out. But Mr. Barris wants to remind you that the door is always open for him, and it may be closed on the way out when I throw him out. And no doubt, Mr. Wilson, our GM and CCW, will make you clear of that. So this just wanted to, point that out and such. So
okay, it's there now,
There you go. And Eddie's almost ready.
I'll be slamming the door on them.
Well, you may do that, but if you are here on Sportswire, because I see Eddie here, and I want to get you some more subs before I ask you some more things. And thank you, Zilla, for congratulating the Tribal Cheese. Go out there and hit a sub button for him on YouTube, and you can see more content and other people that you might want to see. And
you ever go through the content and think that's original? That I do plug out some stuff.
You know what? I check a lot from you, believe it or not, which I've just gotten into in the last month and a half. Is shorts. You have your shorts are all over the place. Your YouTube shorts, it's funny. I never did shorts because I figure I do these shows every day. I don't want to be bothered. I do Instagram, I do the Facebook clips, TikTok, but recently in the last month and a half, because I do a show covering news, and the guy that runs the show had a clip on TikTok that had 145,000 views. So he was telling me, Tom, you got to do shorts. You got to do the shorts. I'm like, all right, I do the shorts. And the shorts have gotten me they've gotten me some extra subs. They've gotten me some views. So, yeah, I check your subs. I check who you meet in football. I check the WWE one. So, yeah, I mean, I check this. I think the shorts is the ones that I really seem to.
I had a wrestling company follow me yesterday called Big LP Wrestling. They seem to be.
I know Big LP. Yeah, I know Big LP Wrestling. They're from stateside, I think. I know Big LP Wrestling.
They jumped onto me yesterday. I was like, wow, this is a big platform.
I think Big LP Wrestling might be maybe because of me, because I think I know Big LP Wrestling, because I think I announced you a couple of times. It could be. I mean, you have people here that know you from coming on Sportswire. Eddie said Eddie hit a sub button for you. Yeah, I got to ask you. I mean, have you met any of the wrestlers I've interviewed? Have you met Raven before? Did you ever meet him? I got to ask you about that. Did you meet Raven?
I did. He came over, but I didn't approach him. He looked like a miserable prick.
Well, I don't want to say that because we had him on.
I tell you what, he was in the hotel lobby, whatever, 2003, and he gave me that look. I think he was about to get cut about that time. He wasn't really being used.
Yeah, he in the documentary that comes up, he got cut and he was really miserable. Well, he talked about here on Sportswire that he stopped watching wrestling in the Alliance thing because that was basically where he kind of went whoop. We went right down the card right after his WWE run. He talks about in the documentary, he just basically was on Sunday Night Heat for the rest of his career. So I mean, he really wasn't fond of his wrestling and where he was in the card, and
Well, I left him and approached Matt Hardy and Shannon Moore when he was doing the version 1 thing at the time.
I saw that, yeah.
And I had a much better experience with them than I thought if I would have went up to Raven, because Raven was on that Louis Theroux one and he didn't come across well in that either. I don't know if you've seen that clip.
I don't remember. Maybe I did.
Louis Theroux, our famous journalist.
Oh yes, yeah.
WCW, and he goes to the power plant. Raven didn't come across well on that. So,
well, I think he went through a lot. He had personal struggles. He talks about his father in the movie, and he has Parkinson's now. So I mean, it's one of those things, But I think Jumpin' Jim Brunzell, you'll like him more because he was like, definitely on. I think a lot more people's wavelength. He's a down to earth guy. He's got a documentary coming out. He's honest, but he's a guy that he'll give you something. Riz Raven was like, it was funny. One of the shorts I posted, somebody had said that he didn't like me. It wasn't that he didn't like me. He was just it was not well executed the way the interview was done. Even he admitted it. He actually apologized to me off the air. He actually, I'm sorry the way this came across. Usually there's more timing. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think jump in, Jim Brunzell. You're like, all right, I got to ask you. I will come back to wrestling. If people want to hear you talk wrestling in independent UK wrestling, but I've had a lot of these bands. Are there any bands that you've met or any bands you want me to interview on you? Because I think Johnny had asked me this and somebody else asked me, any bands you want me to have? Because I've had some big names. I had Saliva. I had Josie Scott. Have you met
Josie Scott of Cyber? Why don't they ever tour the UK as well?
you know what? That's a good point because, he's a guy that
the UK.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good one because he's had like a lot of success. You would think that he would want to come.
I mean, I'm thinking about bands you would want to interview. Like, I
might get them on. What bands?
I always liked American Head Charge. I don't know what happened to them.
I remember them.
I always liked Still Remains.
I remember Still Remains.
I liked Chimera.
Oh yeah, I remember Chimera. Yeah, that's a good one. I could get them. Yeah, those are bands I could get. Yeah.
Yeah, that loads of these bands that I've got. I mean, I really like Turnstile at the moment. Turnstile are amazing.
Well, you know who I really wanted to get on, and I can't get them on for whatever reason. Slepatora. I can't get Max Cavalera on.
I don't think you'd be able to get him. He's a strange cat.
His wife is his manager, and I've messaged his wife, and I saw him on it was David Ellefson's podcast of Megadeth. And I'm like, all right, let me get him. I'm a fan of his work. I know Soulfly, and it was like, no response.
You have to pull out the cheddar for that. You might get
no. You know what? All right. I said this on a previous episode. With rock stars or bands, there's never a discussion about paying them. Wrestlers, a lot of them will either want to say it up front. I mean, I'm going to say, I'm going to do a little minor shooting here for a minute. One wrestler in particular, you won't believe this. Now, every wrestler we've had on here, we never paid them because I have had the rock bands on. They want to be here. They have the following. So I'm grateful to Rhino. I'm grateful to Raven. I'm grateful to Gary Wolf. I'm grateful to Savio Vega. Savio Vega was the best one of them because we had a show to promote, and the guy that set it up was promoting the card. It was awesome. Gary Wolf was cool, too. I got to give Gary a plug, and we loved Rhino Raven. But one wrestler, I'm going to say it. You know how much he wanted an hour to come on the show? Take a guess.
Well,
take a guess.
For 1 hour, a wrestler.
1 hour, yes, you'll be blown away.
Well, maybe like I know Jeff Jarrett's pretty dear. I know that for a fact. 5,000?
No, not that much, but let's say.
Okay, so I was going to say 1,000, but wait.
Close, about 750 pounds your money.
750, probably Rob Van Dam.
Nope, not Rob Van Dam. You not Rob Van Dam. Close, but not quite.
The Sandman, Tommy Dreamer.
Nope.
Am I on the right wavelength here?
Yeah, in the era, but not quite the company. You want me to tell you?
Yeah.
D'Lo Brown.
Oh, God.
D'Lo Brown.
Yeah. Well, I call wrestlers hustlers. They always want the dollar.
See, if you said to me 100 pounds or 150 pounds, not that I would do it because I have because I feel so loyal to all the wrestlers that come on here. I just couldn't do it. But
hey, and I want you to do this bit as a short. I had Rikishi, right? Rikishi.
I know this one. Go ahead.
And you know the one when he had his back to us like that. And my friend wanted to meet him, and I had to go through his agent, and I was PayPaling his agent while my mate wanted to meet him, and he was like, the transaction's gone through Oos, and he turned around and went, hey guys, please. It was so unbelievably cringe. Like I wish I filmed it.
Yeah, he's one that like I remember like it was on X where he was basically like putting his Cash App in post. It was like, I mean, you're Rikishi. I mean, I would think with the Fatu family,
he wants the cheddar, and he wants a lot of cheddar.
Some of them, but the D'Lo Brown one was like he would have said to me 150. I would have done it. I mean, I at least would have thought about it. And then it was funny. The guy, I don't want to say who set it up, who was setting it up, was like messaged me 2 times. Hey, where how you been? You want to do it? And I was like, I messaged back finally. I was like, no, I'm good. I mean, I've been in blabbermouth.net like 7 times. I mean, I have a lot of wrestlers that come on here. I'm good. I appreciate you. I don't knock the hustle. I mean, I'm not knocking the hustle. I just think, to me, Do I?
It is cringeable though, isn't it? Sometimes, and you think, well, you're gonna promote yourself a bit there. Why don't you just do it a bit? But 750 and that's
750 pounds, your money. Yeah, there was another guy that I messaged that messaged me back was like 150, and the name was like, okay, I'll tell you the name. You want me to tell you the name? It wasn't bad. James Ellsworth. James Ellsworth. Yeah. He's like, I'll do whatever you want. He was funny. I'll do whatever you want, you know. And I actually, through back channels, know people that booked him. So I could get him, but I was like, James Ellsworth, I mean, he's still working.
He's forgotten about him. He's forgotten about very fast.
Yeah, he had this moment with Carmella, the AJ Styles wins, but I'm not listen, I'm not knocking that. I don't knock the hustle. I don't, but I just, for me, it's not, I just feel a certain, I just don't want to pay them to come on. I just, the Rock, it's different. Rock is great because, when in rock bands, it's like, they get it. They want to come on. They want to promote. I've actually gotten reached out a lot. Some of these bands even reached out, which is really cool.
Here's one. Can you get Scott Stapp?
Yeah, right. Creed. Listen, I'm not. I tell you what. All right, you want to laugh? I tried Nickelback.
Right, okay. And how did that go?
Yeah, it was Nickelback. I tried Nickelback. It was no. I tried Nickelback.
I mean, I'm gonna have to pull out some of my metal CDs.
A bunch of metal bands. There's a chance they've. Yeah, right. Pantera. Yeah, okay. Next. Pantera's not happening. Never. My mother asked me Zach Wild. I'm like, never. They're not gonna come on here.
Yeah, I've got a few like that.
I mean, I have Megadeth coming on, not Dave Mustaine. I have Metallica. Yeah, okay. Metallica is not happening. Metallica is not happening.
It is one. What about? Come on. Could be possible.
That's an interesting one. You know what? He would probably come on. Yeah, Andrew WK would be one that I could probably
give him a try.
Andrew WK would be one because he had success, but he's not like right now the pinnacle of his career. I could get him, Andrew WK.
I spoke about it yesterday. I mean, when I got this album signed, when was that? 2003.
Well, Party Hard was 2002, right?
I got that on that tour, and that's
he was on. If I'm not mistaken, he was on Ozfest. He played on the Ozfest.
Was it? I don't know. He never followed up the album, did he? And it was 20 years.
Tried. Who else have I tried? All right, we'll have laughs. I've tried Mudvayne. No.
Yeah, no, I didn't think you'd get them.
Mudvayne's Reunited. Nope, not happening. I tried Mudvayne.
I think you could get Wednesday 13.
I could. Yeah, Wednesday 13. That's in the ballpark. I've had Saliva. I've had Josie Scott. I had Great White. I mean, the '80s bands I've had Great White. I've had
Monster Magnet. I believe you could get them as well.
I have LA Guns. I mean, Wednesday 13 would be a good one. I've tried Tool. What do you think the answer was with Tool?
No response.
No response. That was no response. I tried Tool. No response with them. I tried. Who else? I tried Slipknot. I think it was one of the IMF guys said Slipknot, and I laughed. Yeah, we're not getting Slipknot on here.
Could probably get the guy that's touring at the moment. He left him. He's doing like his own thing.
You talk about the drummer, right?
Chris Fenn. You could probably get him.
Yeah, I could. That would be one I could probably get. Yeah, the drummer. Who else? I tried. You're gonna laugh. I tried Pat Benatar. She said no. I got one for you and some people here in the chat that would probably be curious on. Well, I actually did have a conversation with, but they told me no. Weird Al. I tried Weird Al.
Really? Wow. I mean, I'd like to see you two pictured next to each other.
I thought Weird Al would have been perfect because I always thought Weird Al was like the perfect thing for my plan. I always loved Weird Al, but they messaged back, which was nice. They were very nice about it, but they were like, he's not doing interviews. Probably not. Didn't want to come on.
And Weird Al was Weird Al when I met Weird Al.
Weird Al is not coming on. Yeah, so it's just I tried. But I thought at least I got a message back. I got a couple of messages back. That was a good one. I tried Weird Al. Who else have I tried? I tried Motley Crue. Although to be fair, Nikki Sixx shared my clip for Josie Scott, so I got a portion.
That's okay.
Shared it. I can't complain. I tried AC/DC, which that was going to be no.
Oh yeah, definitely.
AC/DC was no shot in hell, but I tried AC/DC.
Ghost, no.
I'm not getting Ghost. Ghost had another. You know that Ghost was the only rock band in America this year to have a #1 record.
Oh, really?
Yeah, #1 record. Ghost. Yeah, Ghost is Ghost is huge right now in America. I mean, they played Madison Square Garden here. I'm not getting Ghost. Ghost. Somebody has to go. I'm not getting them. Ghost is great. I mean, their new album is phenomenal. But I didn't.
Yeah, it's Avenged Sevenfold, another one.
Avenged Sevenfold's in the ballpark. Yeah, I think Avenged Sevenfold, although they're big, yeah, it's a band that, I wasn't a big Avenged Sevenfold. Some of these bands I tried, I wasn't big fans of, but I thought, yeah, that's a band I could get, Avenged Sevenfold. That's in the ballpark, in the wavelength. Yeah, I could. I tried Wolfgang Van Halen. I tried him. I tried.
You get blanks.
I thought I would have had a shot with him, but I never got a message. But you never know. I mean, but I didn't get a message. I tried him.
Have you never thought about getting some movie stars in and doing music, wrestling, and film?
I have, but I don't know who would. I feel like I have to get a good one for movies. I'd have to feel like
I think you could get them because they do Comic Cons, don't they? So they are respecting the hustle.
But you know who I thought about is we're here with the Tribal Cheese, of course, who just got inducted into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame once again for a lifetime achievement. And James Barris, who will return to Sportswire soon, really wants him to wrestle him for his final match.
Is he talking again? Is he still talking?
No, but I think because he can't get an answer out of you. And also, I have one before I get to Eddie. Eddie Pizzo said that he had a good one. I think it's about D'Lo Brown or somebody. He said, I think that I think he wanted me to pay him. Nope, I'm wrong. Well, yeah, we're not paying 750 pounds UK money. I mean, as much as I love D'Lo Brown, he actually was a wrestler I really enjoyed a lot. I loved his work, but I'm not paying to.
He's lying. No one enjoyed him.
Well, I'm not bringing him on. I mean, I'm just not bringing him on. What about Flaw? If anyone knows them from Chris Foles, yeah, I mean, it's a good one. Also, Smile Empty Soul. I definitely know Smile Empty Soul. Yeah, you know what? I thought about 3 Days Grace. You know 3 Days Grace? That's a band.
I think they played this month in the UK.
That was a band that I remember my brother liked. See, I was more of the straight metal, but my brother, who plays the drums, liked a lot of that stuff. The Disturbed, the Smell of Shinedown,
all that,
Sevenfold, the Mudvaynes. I mean, some of it later on I dug, but yeah, Smell Empty Souls. But who do you want? I'm a movie guy. I mean, who am I going to get? I'm not getting Michael Douglas. You met Michael Douglas. I ain't getting Michael Douglas on Sports.
What about these guys?
Trivium, yeah, Trivium's one that I like. Trivium, I hear them on Sirius XM. Yeah,
I think you could probably get some of the Cobra Kai cast or something like that. You probably could get them.
Years ago, I was in a room with Ralph Macchio before I ever did a podcast. Yeah. If I would have known, it was years ago. I mean, Ralph.
I don't think the phone's going off the hook for Martin Cove at the moment.
I'm open to movies. So, you know what? I should throw it to people in the chat going forward. Maybe, you give me an idea of guests that you want to see on Sportswire. Yeah, I'm always thinking about posting it, but then I'm like, I'm going to get somebody that's going to say, get me John Cena, get me Metallica. And I'm like, I can't get
Be realistic, like Michael Winslow, one of the Police Academy or something. Give something.
You know who I see on Instagram that I think you would like, maybe some people would like, who I see? One of my friends, I go back to Steven Saperstein, Steve Guttenberg. That's one I would kind of like to have on here.
I think you could get him.
He's a good one because I watch his stuff on Instagram. I follow him. That'd be a good one. All right, Johnny's got some bands that he wants me to get on. I'm going to listen to Johnny. Shinedown. Yeah, Shinedown. I like Shinedown. No, Shinedown's okay. I have a Shinedown story for you. Do you know that Shinedown got their first? I'm going to tell you something. You of all people, you meet everybody. You don't even know this. Shinedown got their first break, and they opened up for the reunited Van Halen tour in 2004 with Sammy Hagar on vocals.
No, I didn't know that.
First big tour, 2004, when Van Halen came back, and it was an abomination of a tour. Let me just say. Eddie Van Halen was on. Did somebody mention coke here in the chat? Somebody did drugs or whatever. And Eddie Van Halen was blasted out of his mind. And when they were playing live, it was almost like Sammy Hagar and Eddie Van Halen weren't even just touching each other. So they were on that tour. So Shinedown's a band I could probably have a shot at. Trapped. Yeah, Trapped's over from that era, from that post new metal post new metal era, post rap metal. Yeah, that's a good one.
If you go in traps, then you go Huberstank and all them, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Hoobastank would be one. Hoobastank. Then you're talking about like, remember Alien Ant Farm?
But
They will come on. I would get them, and what'll be great about them, they'll give me as much time as you want. I have a band coming on this
he's
week.
going to be wanting Wes Scantling from Puddle of Mud, and he's going to be going.
I would love to have Wes Scanlon on for Puddle.
No, he's nuts. He'll give you.
I know. But people know him, but yeah, he's out of his mind. How many times he's been arrested? Speaking of people that have been arrested a bunch of times, you remember the show Home Improvement?
Yes.
The older son, has been arrested like 7 times in 5 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Zachary Ty Bryan. He's a guy I could get on, but I mean, in this moment, yeah, I mean, that's a no-brainer. I don't know, that's a good one. Yeah, I think I'd have a shot. Yeah. I'll tell you who I wouldn't have a shot with. Hailstorm. Hailstorm's not coming on.
No chance.
Hailstorm, Volbeat are not coming on. Those bands are not. They're not going to come on. Incubus. Yeah, you know what? Incubus. Maybe. They're big though. They're still big. Incubus.
I've met these bands and they're horrible. So I don't know.
Well, I don't. I mean, like Incubus, I feel like wouldn't come on because they still play arenas. Like, see, Josie Scott worked. It was perfect timing because he just came out in the public again. He has a new song out and he just started playing again. So that made sense. It was like right at the moment. I had the guitarist for you remember Queensryche, right?
Your music knowledge is blowing me away here.
Well, you remember Queensryche?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so I had on the guitarist who plays with Jeff Tate now in Queens. It was the next day. That was great. I mean, it was, and I got him, and I got, you know how many views I got on YouTube? Like almost 500 views. Forget about it. People, because rock. People want to hear rock music.
Who's number one views? Is it still Luke Leyland when he was going crazy at that time?
It is still Luke Leyland. Yes, but I would say second. After Luke Leyland is King's X frontman Doug Pinnick. He's second.
Okay.
He was second, and then it's second would be him, not counting Short. To be second would be him, and then I think third, is the guitarist that I had from Jeff Tate. I think he's third.
Wow, okay, yeah, because the shorts are so easy to get the views, but if you get the long run one, they're hard to get.
Rock music is rock. It's different because there's such. People don't realize how big of fans are of rock music. I mean, you just forget about it. They just, who else we got? Lizzie Hale. My mom saw Hailstorm. My brother saw Hailstorm play. She won't come on. She's too big.
No chance.
Mushroomhead. I remember Mushroomhead. I remember them. Well, the band, I'll tell you a band that I tried to get. You probably now we'll talk about music now for a while. A band that I tried to get, and they're from where I grew up. And when I was a baby, my mother and father knew them very well, and I always remember hearing the stories. Do you remember the band Biohazard?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I've actually tried so hard to get Biohazard because I'm a fan of, and I have a feeling that the band is gonna remember my parents, but the manager's like weird. He's like, okay, win. And then it's
Northside Kings. There's one throwing at you.
Which one?
Northside Kings.
I remember Northside Kings. You know what? Northside Kings was
for knocking up Danzig.
Danzig. I mean, I would love to get Danzig on, but Danzig they say is like in rock. You know what they say about Danzig, right? He's like one of the biggest hotheads or biggest total D-bags. That's what they say.
Yeah.
Danzig, Danzig has the wrestling influence because of the Misfits, but I would, Vampiro, but I would, I don't think Danzig's going to come on. I never thought about Danzig. I'll tell you who I've reached out to. All right, I'll give you some bands that you would know from your side of the world. KK Downing, Judas Priest. I've tried them.
Yeah. Okay.
KK Downing was nice about it, but said he wasn't interested at the moment. So I give KK that. Who else have I? Except balls to the wall. Except. I've tried King Diamond, which is a little bit more on the extreme side. I tried King Diamond, but King Diamond, I got partial good news. Eventually, he would like to come on. I did King Diamond.
What about Mr. Lordy?
He ain't gonna come on. I could try. I could try that. Who else have I tried? Gave me an answer. I had tried King Diamond was good. I tried Who was it? I said accept. I said accept. Exodus. No, I didn't get no. Anthrax. I tried Anthrax. I have an Anthrax story. I did street team for them when I was a kid. I would have thought Anthrax would have
Oh,
been.
really?
I did street. I actually I handed out flyers for them for one of their. It was "We Come for You All." I was in school and I handed out flyers for them, and they responded. They wrote back to me. I still have the promo stuff. I have that. So I tried them. I did. Shadow. Do you remember Shadows Fall?
Yes, yeah, I do. Yeah, guy with the dreads swinging
Yes.
it.
I don't have him coming on, but I have the drummer. I'm gonna get on at the beginning of the year. So he
Okay.
was actually like emailed me back. He was like really like enthused.
You didn't know my music taste was this diverse, did you?
What's that? What's that?
You didn't know my music taste is this diverse.
No, I did. Let me tell you why I did. I'm going to circle it back to something we spoke about once. I'm going to tell you why I did, because you came on last year after you had stepped away from the ring, and we were talking about music, and I had said we were talking about the new Metallica album last year, and I was like, and I was like, it's pretty much my answer. And then we were talking about Ozzy, and the Ozzy album was kind of mixed for you also, his last album. And
you've got too much of a good memory. I remember.
I know, well, that's my problem. But Ozzy passed away since we last spoke, and that definitely touched a lot of people, and that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Kind of a bummer, kind of a bummer. And Tesla, Tesla, it's funny you said Tesla, is a band that is touring now. Well, speaking of cash grabs about music, Motley Crue's touring again. Yes, they said, speaking about retirements, right? Motley Crue is the Ric Flair of hard rock and heavy metal. I'm going to say it because I know.
No one officially retires. They never officially retire.
Motley Crue told everybody they signed a contract. They're done. They're never coming back. And now they're touring once again, and they're doing a 20-year anniversary of the Carnival of Sins tour. And then guess what? They're touring with Extreme and Tesla. Tesla's a band that I have reached out to. Yes, Tesla's a band I have reached out to. I have Tesla, the 5-man acoustic jam on cassette. I have Psychotic Supper on cassette. And I have their comeback album on CD. Yes, Tesla's a band I've reached out to, but no cigar. But yeah, Ozzy, I was definitely bummed about Ozzy passing. Ozzy.
He was.
I would have thought you would have been there back to the beginning. They played that one final show. Ozzy has his one last show. And
I had something on that day. And I can't remember what it was, and there was no change in the plan. I can't remember what it was, why I wanted it back to the beginning. But my friend went.
But you were going to go. I would have thought you would have been there. I would have thought for you, that would have been a no-brainer.
I can't. I'll have to really dig out why I wasn't there. There was something on why I wasn't there.
Oh, you want to laugh? Who had it the worst was the Scorpions that day. The Scorpions actually had a show. They had a concert the same day, and they're on their 60-year anniversary tour, and nobody wanted to talk about their touring concert because it was the same day as the Back to the Beginning. So yeah, that was.
That's like a promoter's nightmare. That someone must have got sacked for that.
Well, yeah, that is, that is certainly, that, and hit the sub button for the tribal cheese. Yeah, the Ozzy, I was, heartbroken by. Then, the same week, right afterwards, 2 days later, was that man you met, a man you definitely, very well in the Hulkster. I'm sure had a feeling or two about the Hulkster passing away right after Ozzy.
I'm still gutted about the Hulkster. I mean, I am a Hulkamaniac.
I know.
I just thought he was hard done by on his last run. If I'm being honest, I thought.
I know.
They done him dirty. They done Hulks the dirty. At the end of the day, all the people that are booing him now, they wouldn't be there if it wasn't for him and Hulkamania. They wouldn't.
I know the Hulkster, and that I'm with you. And unfortunately, he doesn't get the send off. He doesn't get the tribute. And his last appearance, he gets booed. He gets booed off Raw.
He's saying to me on there, he squeezed my shoulder. He goes, "Man, this guy's built like a rock."
Yeah, Hulk. It's a complicated one on Hulk. And by the way, speaking of the Hulkster, that Jimmy Hart had his megaphone stolen, and they
That's a very random thing to do.
I heard though yesterday that somebody actually felt bad about it and is shipping it back to him.
Oh, really? Yeah, it was a random thing to steal that, stealing in.
I know Jimmy Hart. You know Jimmy Hart's 81. You know that, right? He's 81.
Well, yeah, I can. When he takes off his glasses, you can see his age. He covers it well. I mean, he's got that straw hair. I mean, I'd love to just see a lighter and see it just whoop up.
Well, also, let me get to Johnny. He did want to say that his feeling on Hulk is complicated. He said Ozzy meant more to him personally. Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest. I loved the Hulkster, certainly, but Ozzy did mean more to me personally because of music. I think about, one of my memories, 1 year for my birthday gift, my godfather bought me Ozzy Down to Earth. So I have a sort of an Ozzy thing. My mother, for my birthday, my mother 1 year bought me the Ozman Comet Greatest Hits. So I kind of, in a way, I have the Ozman Comet Greatest Hits. And Ozzy, was always like, in my house, my dad was a huge Ozzy fan from going back to Black Sabbath. He was a drummer.
Yeah.
And like from the beginning, we're talking 1970 to like my dad's passing was like always Ozzy. So it was always every year, every time Ozzy had an album out, it was always like, I remember 1 year, my dad just sat there and listened to Ozzy. Just that's it. Doesn't matter. So Ozzy, the Ozzy did mean, a lot, in my home, in my upbringing, Ozzy meant a lot to me. Yeah, for sure. But, Ozzy, it was what it is. But, before I move on to some other topics, you say you want movie stars. So you think I should bring movie stars on here?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I want to be the gatekeeper for that.
You think anybody wants to hear movie stars on here? I mean, you're the movie star. You meet all the movies. Woody Harrelson, Michael Douglas. You meet them all. Cody Rhodes is going to be in a movie, I hear now, with Roman Reigns. John Cena's a movie star. Hulk was obviously. I mean, they're movie stars. Are you sure you think movie stars will come on here? You think?
Movie stars, yeah, I think, yeah, I do think they will. I think they're like, if we're being realistic, we will never get the top.
No, I'm not going to get Tom Cruise. I'm not going to get,
We can look lower and we can like build a foundation and go from there. We can see what we can get.
Well, it's funny you said that. A friend of mine, his brother, bless you, a friend of mine, his brother has a podcast. It's a different one than mine, and I noticed they were getting on these like, I don't want to say low-level actors, but they were like lower-tiered actors. So I noticed that, I guess
you have a cult following, Bruce Campbell.
I know Bruce Campbell. Yeah, I heard of him. I heard of Bruce Campbell.
I don't, but I just don't think he'd do it.
You know who I was thinking of? And I think Johnny Velocity is going to be like, that's a great idea. You remember the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking about some of those voiceover actors and those that were in those movies. And like, they might be like Ernie Reyes Jr., like in that wavelength. There's the guy that played. What's that?
Peter Laird, the artist.
Yes, that's another one. Yeah. I saw the Shredder. It was James Saito, Francis Chow were on my Instagram that popped up.
Here's what I've approached Mick Foley because I think he's turned from nice guy to massive hustler.
Mick Foley, I haven't because Mick Foley, I feel like would either be too big time or would probably want to charge an arm and leg. I mean, I can afford it. Don't get me wrong. I could do that, but I just feel to me I owe too much to all the wrestlers that come on my platform here, yourself and the underground, the backyard, the independent guys. To me, I'm not interested in that. I don't need to pay to get engagements. It was like, I have a friend of mine, I'm not going to say his name, but I have a friend in Brooklyn and he paid to get like 3,000 X followers. And like, you see his post on X and there's like, gets no likes, 2 likes, 3 likes. I'm not.
Yes, I know people with like 500,000 followers on like TikTok and that, and I look at their posts and they have like 2 likes. I'm like, why would you do that?
I wouldn't do it. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't get you the monetization. It doesn't do anything of that. Yeah.
I don't know that they're following it. It's a graft.
You know who I had was a good interview. I don't know if you saw the clips. I had the guy on that produced Tupac's last songs when he was alive. I don't know if you were a Tupac fan or not, but I had the producer Scott Gutierrez, who was on here a couple weeks ago. Right. And the long form interview just continues to go up in views because he was the guy in the studio before Tupac died. He's one of the last people to have been there with Tupac. And like my clips on TikTok, They're some of the biggest views I ever got on TikTok, and I got a whole bunch of new followers on TikTok. I got like 60 new followers in the last 2 weeks. And
Yeah.
so that was
That's what goes through. I mean, I had this thing, a clip trending in, it was like Ethiopia or something, and the people were just plugging on. Honestly, it was so random.
yeah.
But it's you know about the monetization and all that. How weird.
Yeah. I'm monetized on YouTube and Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think they con you in a way because they
It
don't
is a
do
con.
all the stuff like that. You have to get them to watch the full 61 seconds of the clip. Then it has to be in your country, your territory.
YouTube, you need 4,000. So the minimum is 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours. Facebook is like the minimum used to be 1,000 followers. Now I don't know what it is now, but when I signed up for then at YouTube, it's got to be $100 in your account. You get $100, then they'll give you the check. Then TikTok, they give you the live. You get 500 followers, you can go live. Then to get paid, I think it's 10,000 followers. Instagram, it's 10,000 followers. Then, but you get paid, it's like not even.
I have had some decent checks on TikTok. I have had some decent ones.
Yeah, I heard some people do. I heard TikTok's the best of them. The YouTube and Facebook. I will say Facebook. I get paid monthly. Facebook, I get a check. I get PayPal every month. I don't know if you're paid on Facebook. You should join the professional page on Facebook.
I'm on the professional dashboard on Facebook.
Then you should get paid on that. Let me get to what Johnny wants to say here. Jimmy Hart worked a few shows here in Lancaster, Ohio. Me and the kids. I know his kids. Joe Stone's one of them. Met him a few times. He's a really nice guy. Yeah, I've heard that from other people. Jimmy Hart, people say he was a nice guy. Did you like Jimmy Hart or no?
I like Jimmy Hart. Yeah, I like Jimmy. Yeah.
All right, you liked him. All right, that's good. So I can jump in Jim Brunzell tomorrow about him. Some voiceover actors. Yeah, I think voice actors would. I think some people, if it's the right movie, I think people would want to hear them on here. I think. It depends on, but I'm not going to get Tom Cruise on it. I'm not going to get Denzel Washington. I'm not going to get Keanu Reeves, It's got to be
a bit real here.
I got to be realistic. Yeah. Although bands, I think I have a better chance to get bigger. I have the Megadeth guys. I have Chris Poland and I have David Ellefson, which is like a big deal. Like, those would be my biggest ones, Those are good. But I'm not getting Dave Mustaine. I think it was Johnny, you're getting Dave Mustaine? I'm like, no. No. My mother asked me that. You Dave Mustaine, right? And they said no, Chris Poland and then David Ellefson. Oh, I'll tune in. I'll tell. But good enough. It was funny. My friend plays in a band here, in a hardcore band. And I feel bad. I don't want to say. I'll say his name, Anthony Finkel, and he always wants me to go to his shows, and I'm going to go to his show finally. I'm not big timing him, but it's like for me to talk to the band, it's like nobody knows them. It's like I want. I feel bad, but I'm going to go
situation.
It's like I had one band on my mother's friends with a band that came, and the guy was an awesome guy. I mean, he gave me his whole story. The EP cat was great, and he came on. It was like he was more of a fan of me. Which again, I'm not knocking. I love everybody that comes on. Yeah. But I want to make it worthwhile for people. Yeah, Keanu is worth a shot. Yeah, I love John Wick. I love Bill and Ted. I love The Matrix, but I just don't think he's coming on my show. maybe if Barris takes over Sportzwire,
maybe.
But you won't come on. But then you won't come on again, so it won't work out. And I want to say hello to Camo Cam from TikTok and the IMF. So I want to thank Camo Cam for coming on. All right, before I move on, so what are you up to? So what is the 2026 plans for the Tribal Chiefs? Like, what do you want to do? What are you looking to visit next? Who are you looking to see? I mean, I should ask you that before we move on and such.
I want to go Budapest. I did want to go Krakow. I'm looking at going Budapest coming up. Okay. Yeah.
Richard Gere is famous for Budapest.
What for? Why?
Richard Gere. Maybe you'll meet Richard Gere there. You can tell.
I mean, I want to do a lot of Europe tours. I want to get back to my mountains.
Mountains were good. The mountains were. I like.
Mountains are good. I mean, I've just purchased a drone, so the content's going to go flying through the roof.
Oh man, if you got a drone, forget about it, Dad.
It's just going to be so many different content ideas, and I mean, realistically, I am looking at that March 26th minus Mania. I am looking at it. I am.
Well, let me think. What's the calendar today? So we're talking about 1, 2, 3, like 4 months from now.
I am looking at it. I realistically could kick Barris's
Well,
ass.
the CCW fans, they absolutely, those are your people. I mean, you do realize that.
I come in that place.
Listen, I mean, I say it all the time. You are an independent wrestling in the UK, one of the biggest draws. You kind of talked about all the people that came on over the years from the UK, and you are legitimately one of the biggest draws.
Do you know what? I think it's because I do it smart though. I've never like oversaturated myself. I've never put myself out there too much. So when it eventually comes, they're like, oh my god, cheese is gonna be here. But
you mentioned like names that would come on here, and you're wrestling sometimes when you're wrestling every month or every other week. What happens is I'm not gonna see. I just saw you. You know what I'm saying?
You kill the plant dies.
Right. What they call it saturation. You're oversaturating yourself. So you have the option to be somebody that does it in a limited capacity, or I'm going to do it every month. But if you do it every month, you got to be able to go out there and I think we're in the UK when we had all those wrestlers come on over the years. That might have been, when you're wrestling, with more people watching you on Instagram or Facebook than in the venue, it's tough where you, at least the way you always did it from the time I've covered you to where you last were out there, you had your 40, 50 diehard cheesy fans and plus
constantly, I mean 40, 50 people that would follow me constantly. And I mean,
you know how hard that is? Listen, I went out to see, speaking of music, right? I get a lot of these bands come on and, like even for these bands to sell 500 to 1,000 tickets, you would do 40, 50 people every time. I just saw my brother play. My brother plays in a band. He started his comeback and, I'm going to the place by my house and I don't think he pulled 5 people that he knew, 6, 7. I mean, the venue was packed for other people, other bands, but on his own, he wouldn't have pulled 40, 50 people. You and I, if I would have go somewhere, I could pull 40, 50 people, but I couldn't do it every month. I have 5,000 contacts in my phone. I could pull it out, but to do that every month, I mean, that's why you've always been smart about how you've done things,
Yeah. And the mad thing is, though, like I don't really wrestle in my area. I travel out. So they actually travel to see me, and I mean they've all got the shirt. Yeah, but they have been very loyal. I mean, even to the point when I was struggling, they was always there. Like, well, the Big Cheese Army. But I don't know.
But you've always been so good to your fan. You even talked about it in the past. Fans, wanted certain ring gear from you. I mean,
you could have it. I'm generous like that. If they wanted it, I would give it. You could take it. Anything I've got was theirs. Like, have it.
I will say that's Well, I'll go borrow Raven's line. I wore the shirt. I wiped my ass with it, and whatever. I'm just whatever with it. But I mean, you really did. Your fans. I will say this. I mean, I think I always say you and RPD to me in terms of relationships with the fans and social media. From who I covered in the UK, it was you two and everybody else. To me, everybody else, was one thing, but your relationship, especially with your fans, I think that's why you have that curiosity still, why people still want to see it, because you talked about from that era when you first came on and people told me to bring you on and other places. I don't even remember them. I remember them, but I'm not gonna mention them on here. But the point is that a lot of them almost here today, gone tomorrow, whereas you have stood the test of time, just like CCW.
More successful, I keep getting more popular, which is quite rare, So I think if I do that Miners Mania in March, it would draw good numbers. I'm pretty sure of it.
I think people here would love to talk about. I mean, Barris he would be on here every day to talk about that match. I think there would be, but I think that your fans would want to see. Now, obviously, look, we know that you do so much, and obviously, my intention to bring you in here today wasn't to ask you about the return to the ring. It was to catch up, and I figured you'd like this because we talked about some of the bands I've had, who I could bring on. You gave me some good ideas on movies and other people to come on with, and you solidified some other things. But I think before we close out the show, I do think that people, they miss you, whether it's here, whether it's in the ring or social media. People, you have this larger than life personality. You've always been a fan of back in the 80s, wrestling. I think about you. You're on that wavelength of like an Andre the Giant, where you're an attraction. People just gravitate to you. You have a certain charisma, and even if you're out there and just doing, throwing somebody over the top in a rumble, or what you've always been, the best at, or whether it's just, a spear or whatever you do, I think that there is that mystique about that larger than life attraction that you bring to the table. And there's always going to be that where fans say, what if with Cheesy?
Yeah, and that's why the doors don't close, because it's still there, isn't it?
It is. Well, you look great. I mean, you obviously have kept yourself. I mean, this is the best I've seen you mentally since you've ever been on here. Yeah. I mean, your people have certainly gravitated towards you coming on here, and I think that Mr. Barris certainly is going to make sure when he returns to talk about you. That's what he's going to talk about. I mean, and there's other things out there that he does want to talk about, and I'm glad that Mr. Barris seems to have been have made sure his presence has been heard on some of those things, and I'm with him on that. Believe me, I'm with Mr. Barris on a lot of those things, because there have been some horrible things that have happened out there, and horrible things. I mean,
we don't even need to go there recently, but we all know.
It's terrible. I mean, I gotta be honest. It's been terrible. I done a lot of backyard underground wrestling. Backyard wrestling to me, it's Johnny knows. It was rocked. It took. I think only now I feel like it's in the rear view mirror. There was so many horrible things. It happened all in once, kind of like with UK wrestling. I even go back before you came on with the Speak Out movement.
Can I just say about all the seedy bastards?
Yeah, go for it.
I never liked any of them people.
I know, you were always like
character. I'm like, I never liked him. I don't know. I've got that thing. Like all the people that I didn't like are coming out to be seedy bastards, which I don't know. Initial instincts, in it. The mother's instincts. You
gotta go with your gut. You know what? My dad always said, you got to go with your gut. Your gut instinct is always never going to let you down. Anything else might, but yeah, I mean, but people overlook that because why? They want to get booked. They want to be a wrestler. I want to, that's unfortunately, that's a problem. But it's not just in the UK. I saw it here with backyard wrestling. There's guys that feel like, I want to go out there and get booked. And I'm not knocking them, but they make a decision I'm not agreeing with, and I'm not going to highlight it. But unfortunately, wrestling's the one thing that people seem to overlook, that whereas other things, we're in 2025 going into 26.
Mm-hmm.
It's not normal, but yet in wrestling, it still seems to be that prevalence, I don't know.
Yeah. It's one of those. So don't just, if they feel like if you feel like they're a seedy bastard, they usually just go with your instincts.
Oh, God, go with your gut, and let me say hello before I give a couple more plugs, get to closing thoughts. Yes, hello to Camo Cam. Her dad is here also. Yes, and Camo Cam's big on TikTok, and love that. And let me plug YouTube again, because I'm going to plug Instagram. I'm going to plug TikTok before I get to closing thoughts. First of all, the Tribal Cheese has a lot of subscribers on YouTube. Please go out there and follow him there. You can check out all of his content. He's got 5,000 plus subs. So do me a favor, check out the sub button to go hit that. And also Instagram. I'm going to put Instagram up here in a minute. So please go out there and support him. He's been so generous with his time and support. And he seems like maybe he would like to go out there and beat up James Barris. But in the meantime, he's not doing that at the moment. But he also has an Instagram page. I know you have a TikTok page, which I'll try to see if I can squeeze that on the screen. But
can I just say to all those people that want to be a content creator as well, it's a slog. It's a slog.
I gotta be honest with you. I don't feel on TikTok that until the last 2 weeks, I never felt on TikTok that I was really going anywhere. But the last 2 weeks, if you looked at my reels, like 70% of them have all hit like 700, 800, 900, 1,000, two
But it
thousand
takes
views.
one video to get you like 100,000, and then they all move. That's the thing.
Right,
When you
right.
one video, they all go, and it's mad. You can't keep up with it. I had to switch off notifications because it kept blinging up. You got to think I had a video that got 1,000,007 views. My phone every time refreshed, bing, 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 goes, wow, what's this? Too much.
Yeah. Yeah, TikTok. I've heard James Taylor said the same thing. He says when you do one video, all it takes is one video, and it gets you viral, and that's all you need. That's all
Yeah,
you
one
need.
video can change it. One video. I mean, I don't know if you've seen him. Look at the beef for Final Boss. That guy with the stupid haircut that we had. He's everywhere now. Oh, you mean you get
Well,
the
I'm
whole?
gonna actually. I got the right TikTok finally, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
put it up.
Look at Haley
I
Welsh.
got
On that.
TikTok people on here. I gotta give the TikTok following. I'm gonna put that right up here. I'm gonna make the hockey line change. Yeah, check out you and James Taylor. James has got 80-something thousand. You're right behind him. So go out there and
How many did James Taylor pay for? Is it questionable?
no, he didn't. You know what? So his thing was he's
I'm bad
the
at
Stone Cold guy. He has had like you the million views, and
He's got
that's what
good content.
he's got good content, and you have good content too, which we've talked about. Dana White, obviously, we've talked about that in the past. And check out
Yes.
all his TikTok content and hit the follow button. I know Camo's on there. So, all right, before we get to closing thoughts, is there anything else you want to share? Anything else you want to say here on another Hall of Fame like episode for you, sir?
Oh, no, I think we've actually covered a lot. I mean, what we should say is don't leave it too long because the time just flies. The time just flies. You can put me in for a quick hour here and there. We don't need to.
We're happy for tuning in. Listen, I mean, look, I was digging talking to music. People were talking. People like me talking music. Believe it or not, I would say right now, I know people are going to know me for being the wrestling guy, but I think more people talk to me now about music. I'm actually. I want to shout out Cleopatra Records because the press guy actually has me in email groups. No, we got to go with sports. That's the guy with the YouTube subs. So the music ones are actually the ones getting me the exposure.
You might have to rebrand your name.
My friend Steven Saperstein says I should change the name, but I won't do it because I still do wrestling. I'm not giving up wrestling. I won't do it. I won't do it. He's like, you guys, just do it. He's like, just change the name. But I'm like, so many people know me from wrestling. How am I going to look every wrestler in the eye that came on here? They're going to be like, they're going to kill me.
I think I come back to wrestling. I promise you, I'll do it exclusively on your show.
Oh, that's so kind of you to do that because you could just.
I will plug it on your show live. That will be the one.
You know what? I'll tell you what. James Barris is going to be on here, and I know you're going to tune into that. So I'm excited about James Barris because James Barris does have a lot to say, and I think people are going to tune in. And Camo wanted to say hi to you. Camo's a big wrestling fan. I see her. She goes. Well, I want to give Camo a plug. Because Camo goes to all the wrestling shows the IMF has. They used to have 4,000 subs. I see her. I watch all the shows, and she's right there with her dad. So she's, and also maybe talk news. I don't know. No, I do news already on Wednesdays. I hate talking politics on it. I don't want to do that. No, that's where it'll go too far because I do that every Wednesday night on a time. If you want, I'll send you my link, but I really don't want to do that because it's I mean, I also have that's something I've made a lot of money off in life is politics. People ask me professionally, my opinions on that. And I don't want to, I'm going to turn into Raven. That's how I feel about when, how Raven feels about wrestling. That's how I feel about the political. Cause I've done all those things professionally. I've worked in the government. I work on campaigns. I've served in capacity. Oh, entertainment news. Thank you, Johnny. Yeah. I think movies. I think
go with film and music.
I think if I did actors or voice, I think I would be down with that. That I could do. Yeah, I could probably do that's my wheelhouse. That's something I took drama for 3 years in high school. I've been in few short films somewhere. I would do that. I would do that. No, I want music. Sports, I mean, I could do sports, but my audience doesn't want to hear sports. Wrestling, yes. Wrestling, I think they want to hear music. I know people want to hear music. I definitely know that music that people want to hear. But I'm going to show my screen. I want to get your reactions before I start. I actually have one more thing I want to share because I'm going to share it on Facebook soon. I don't know how people will react to this, but I have a name change, and you're going to be shocked when you see it. You actually might know what this is, but actually, I'm now a lord. Believe it or not, I actually have a title.
Are you a lord? Is this official?
Yeah, I got the screen. I'm going to show it up on the screen. I have to show it. Yeah, I got to do it. I got to show it on the screen. And yeah, you see it? There's the title. You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one of those. I got it. Actually. Yeah, I'm a lord. I got it. I got the Sealand.
Traveling to the UK then.
You know what? I mean, I don't know what, I'm probably going to have to advertise this now. Is Camo Cam next on Sportswire? I mean, do we follow each other on Instagram? I would say see what your dad thinks and talk to the IMF about that. Maybe during the IMF show next week, I'll put you on and you can do the predictions. I'll tell you what, we'll do that next week. I'll put you on for prediction. Talk to the IMF. But yeah, I have this. Maybe I should start advertising it, but maybe one day. But all right, I had enough. You want to now move on and do other things. You want to get to your social medias. Let me pass the baton to you. You're sick of seeing me for now. So let me give you closing thoughts. Anything else you want to plug, share, or say? The floor is yours.
I've just got to say, Adrian Black, you was always an asshole.
I don't know. I don't think he was ever on my bingo card for Sportswire. Yeah, I don't think we ever. I don't ever think I was a fan of him either. I don't think he was one of the names that we really.
I just had to put that one out there for him, for all the boys. Get the big shot of it. Adrian,
yeah, I heard about that.
You were always an asshole.
we can let that one slide. That one's going to be, we'll let that one slide. Yeah, that one's going to slide because I know what you're talking about there. Yeah, that one definitely can slide. And hit the sub button for the Tribal Cheese. Also, follow him on TikTok. That's the right account. And he's once again in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And also, he's got 5,000 subs on YouTube. We'll give you the physical copies when we're off the air. And my friend, thank you for another can't miss episode. And I'm sure James is going to piggyback off some of these things. Some of the other things he won't.
Thank you, Necro Daddy. Thank you. Necro Daddy, you're not forgotten. We need to catch up. We need a gym session. And we'll listen to who's the strongest. Chris Levitt, you're the man. James Barrett.
I love Necro Daddy. Necro Daddy. He and I speak. He liked he did like my Raven interview, so I have to give Necro Daddy it was a good. No, I gotta say, look, we're happy with Raven. I could see the moody stuff, but that's who he was. He was, but no, he was actually, he did apologize for the miscommunication. So I give him that. So he was, you'll see Jip and Jump runs out will be probably
out before I go now though.
What's that?
My shout outs before I go.
Yeah, of course. Shout out whoever you want.
I would always say hello to my sister, my nieces and nephews, Bassnet, Barris, of course, Carlos, Codeine, all the regular loyal people, the Big Keys Army, all my followers that have supported me, and to all the haters, it ain't easy being cheesy.
See, you could get away with that at this point. I don't know if I can do that at this point, but that is the Tribal Cheese, and he's awesome. And yes, also shout out to your nieces and your sister. You do a lot better job being an uncle than I do, but that's okay. I just give the checkbook out, but that's okay. Hit the sub button for him. Follow him on Instagram. Follow him on TikTok. And thank you to Johnny. And Johnny will definitely be here tomorrow night when CJ is here. I'm very excited about CJ. We had a great conversation earlier this afternoon, and he's got some good things to say. And I am a lord now. Yeah, well, maybe we'll post it on Facebook. We'll have fun with it. But until then, that is the Tribal Cheese, my friend. Happy holidays. Thank you for everything. I will see you here maybe in a few months to maybe talk about Mr. Barris, but Mr. Barris will be on here next week. Yeah, I'm sure. And speaking of people that are here, which I want to give a plug, the Don of Combat, AJ Harrison. If you're here, the Don of Combat, AJ Harrison, the KCC US and World Champion. We're here with TikTok influencer, YouTube star, the Tribal Cheese. He's been a lot of famous people. He was just at a Hans Zimmer concert. So hit the sub button for him for me. He's also on TikTok. He's got 17,000 plus followers on TikTok. So if you can, Go out there and sub to his page. Also, follow him on TikTok. I'm going to put his TikTok page up for you so you can hit the follow button for him there. And AJ just joined you in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame recently. He's also a guy that knows Chubby Dudley. He's getting us Chubby Dudley on Sportswire, one of the Dudleys back in ECW. Yeah, that'll be a good show for you to go. It'll be Chubby Dudley. He has a show, and he's actually a really good guy, and he's going to be on here next week.
Right,
and that's the Tribal Cheese. Yeah,
my
Chubby Dudley.
It's always open if they want to talk. It's always open.
I'll see. I'll connect you with Mr. Dudley, and he'll talk about that. Yes, hit the sub button for all his pages, and you can see it. AJ, he's joining you in the Sportswire Hall of Fame for lifetime achievement and 5,000 subs. AJ's got almost 4,000 subs. I'll plug AJ's page.
Oh, good.
We'll plug AJ's page because AJ's almost at 4,000. You're at 5,000. So I want to go plug those pages. Hit the sub button for me when it comes to AJ Harrison's page. And there you go. His channel. He's got a lot of content. He's a big martial artist. He famously took down a Utah State trooper and had him down and just he wouldn't let him go. So that's funny and awesome stuff. And thank you, AJ. Thank you, everybody here for tuning in. I'll be back here tomorrow a couple different times. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one global radio station, the Sportswire Radio, where all music and wrestling. Thank you so much, everybody. Acknowledge the Tribal Cheese because it ain't easy being cheesy. And we'll see you. And thank you. Yes, we'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow.